All jokes aside, I want us to talk for a minute about the realities, the legalities of what just happened by Nikon acquiring Red. Okay, we're really going to get into this because I reached out to a lawyer friend of mine. I was a comedian. I was an actor way before I stepped behind a camera. Okay, so, you know, I tend to just make observational humor. I like to take a piss all the time. I love cracking jokes. It's what I do. Okay, I got zero skin in the game. All I know is anytime I look at a Nikon camera, I have no desire to pick one up and use it. But hey, if you do, good on you. I don't care about Nikon, okay? But I don't want to make this video about that. But I do want to talk about the future of Hollywood because I think it's interesting that this happened. Now, keep in mind, Red Digital Cinema have been on the forefront, have been fueling Hollywood productions since back in 2013. I think that's when Social Network came out, was 2013. That was the first movie that Red was on. Okay, keep in mind, Red were the first ones to make a 4K camera and capture a Hollywood movie with it, with huge stars in it. Social Network was huge. David Fincher has only been using Red digital cinema cameras on his movies since the Social Network. I imagine now Mr. David Fincher might be crying in a corner because I don't think he would be super thrilled about shooting his next big Hollywood film on a Nikon camera. I could be wrong about that, but what I've been talking about in the past 300 videos here on YouTube, 80% of what I say in almost every video is there is a huge difference between a video camera versus a cinema camera. Now, what does this have to do with Nikon buying Red? Well, first of all, you know, I've been working in this industry full-time for 14 years. Half of that an actor in front of the camera, the latter half behind the camera. I have never, ever been on a set where someone was using a Nikon camera to capture that movie, okay, or the show or whatever we were working on, okay? What I'm talking about is quite obvious. Nikon doesn't have any footprint in the cinema camera world. What happened like a year ago? Red was suing Nikon for their Red Code RAW, the patents on their image capture. And then what happens now? A year later, this huge corporation buys Red. Now, what does that tell you? I wish we could telephone Mr. Elon Musk and say, hey, what happens when you acquire 100% of a company? Right? What happened when Elon acquired 100% of Twitter? Well, we all know what kind of shit show that turned into, right? This is the whole point of what I'm talking about. You want to know another huge pioneer of the camera industry was Minolta. And I know you guys know I talk about Minolta all the time, but I think they're a fascinating camera company. But one of the most fascinating parts about Minolta, not only were they the first ones to introduce us to aperture priority, shutter priority, they made cameras for Leica, they made lenses for Leica, okay? And then what happened in the 80s? Sony acquired 100% of Minolta. Do you know where Minolta is now? They make inkjet printers with Konica. They are not still in cahoots with Sony. Sony devoured them. They sniffed them up like they were on the movie set in 1980s Hollywood. Okay, that's the reality of it. And I think this is important to take note of. Nikon acquired 100% of Red. Red had a very small employee pool, 220 employees approximately. That's all they are. They're one of the last American camera companies. And again, pioneers to Hollywood cinema. You have this company that you just tried to sue, you pissed them off, and now they acquire 100% of you? So let us ask our lawyer friend what that really means when you acquire 100% of someone. When a company acquires 100% of the outstanding membership interests of another company, it means that the acquiring company has purchased all the ownership stakes or shares available in the target company. This essentially gives the acquiring company full control over the target company, including its assets, liabilities, and operations. Membership interests refer specifically to ownership stakes in companies structured as limited liability companies, LLCs. Well, we know that's exactly what Red is, Red.com, LLC. So in this context, the acquiring company becomes the sole owner of the LLC, allowing it to make decisions regarding the LLC's future without, this is key here, without the need to consult with other members or even shareholders. So Mr. Oakley himself, Mr. Gennard, and Mr. Jared Land, I hope are laughing all the way to the bank because the future of Red Digital Cinema is now 100% in the hands of Tokyo. It is in the hands of Nikon. They now have complete control of Red Code RAW, what they were originally being sued for. Now they own it. Point blank. They own the entire company. They now pay the payroll of all 220 of those Red employees. They now own the studio right down here in Hollywood. They own everything Red owned. It's no longer Red's. It's no longer Red's. Not even 1% is in the contract, according to the press release that Nikon put out, by the way. Red didn't put that out. Nikon put that out. Their lawyers publicly issued that on the Nikon.com website. What does that mean for the future of Red? I don't know. What did it mean for Minolta? Maybe we should go down to their printing warehouse and see how many inkjet printers Minolta and Konica are spitting out nowadays. I'm wondering if they're regretting, letting Sony acquire 100% of their corporation and adopting everything, even their insignia Alpha logo. This is what I'm talking about, of people think that I'm crazy for the things that I'm saying. I don't think you understand the realities of acquiring 100% of something. If I was a rich buku dude like Mr. Bezos himself, okay, and I wake up one day and I go, hey man, I wanna acquire 100% of Instagram. Do you think Instagram would look anything like it does right now? No, dude. It would probably be the Justin Show. Why? Because I acquired 100% of it. I can do whatever I want with it. It's mine now. It's mine. You put it in my hand, I can do whatever I want with it. It's mine. And I think that's the interesting thing that we're all glossing over here. I don't know if Mr. David Fincher would be super stoked about using a Nikon camera to shoot his next big movie. But maybe he would, because Nikon is going to acquire all the technology. They acquired everything. I think what we know today as Red Digital Cinema is literally no more. It is literally no more. Whether you want to debate against that or not, the reality is no one can say that, oh, it's gonna be the same, man. No, you can't say that because you're not Nikon. You're not the dudes behind that closed door that just did that deal, kind of, winking at each other, smiling at each other, right? That's the reality of it. It's a money game, dude. And Mr. Gennard, okay, the founder of Red, he originally was an Oakley guy, but that's the reality of it. He is a marketing guy. I mean, to literally make your LLC red.com, that's interesting. That's an interesting LLC name, red.com, for a Red Digital Cinema camera company. Now, you guys know someone like me, because of my huge background working in the entertainment industry, growing up in the entertainment industry, all I know is storytelling and filmmaking and cinema. So obviously, I am more concerned about that kind of stuff. David Fincher being one of my favorite directors of all time. These are things that real filmmakers stop and think about and go, wait, what does this really mean? This huge photography corporation, okay, with lenses that focus backwards, by the way. And I can't stop thinking about the original lawsuit. If I was trying to sue one of you because I thought, well, they stole my idea, I'm gonna sue my subscribers now. They stole my ideas. And then next thing I know, my subscribers buy my YouTube channel. What would that mean in the future of the Justin Phillip YouTube channel? I would disappear immediately, especially considering the amount of unsubscribers I get on a daily basis. They would kick me, they would give me the boot immediately. And they could, because they now acquired 100% of my company. And I assume they would have a little bit of animosity towards me because I tried to sue them a year ago. This is legit stuff to consider and think about from a legal standpoint. I refuse to sit there and believe that anyone would tell me that, everything's gonna be okay, dude. And here's the thing too, I'm not so much concerned about Red, I guess, because I'm not a fanboy. You guys know I really don't care. But what I am concerned about is the future of filmmaking, the future of filmmaker tools, the future of our industry. It's so interesting to me that this big change, and it is a big change, because Red, there's no doubt about it, the Red Digital Cinema we used to know, it was neck and neck with Arri, and Sony was kind of coming up between them, whether you want to believe it or not, okay? That's the reality of it. But now that the Red has been consumed by this other company that doesn't have a whole lot of experience in the game, and you could say, well, yeah, but you can't say anything, because again, they've acquired 100% of everything, ownership, entitlement, everything. They could walk in the office tomorrow and say, Jared and this guy are gone. All 220 of these employees are gone. They're all gone. It's all being shipped to Japan now. Literally, they could do whatever they want. That is the reality of it. And that's why I said in my first video that Arri must be popping champagne right now. Because quite frankly, there's no more competition for Arri, except maybe Sony. But I feel like Sony is still quite a bit behind when it comes to Arri. Arri and Red have always been neck and neck. And I know people don't like to think of it as competition, but guys, this is Hollywood. everything is a competition in Hollywood, okay? That's the reality of it. Everything, down to who gets a job, down to how a job is even made, down to pitching a job, it's all competition. Just going to Starbucks is a competition. Everything in this town is a competition. And if you're gonna sit there and lie to me and say it's not, then you're in straight denial. You're in straight denial, or you're in the 1% and you don't feel the competition. That's the reality of it. And I would have said, before today, I would have said red are in the 1%, not anymore. But the reality is I don't have any skin in the game. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I just talk passionately. It's just something that I do, maybe from years of performing. Anything I do with 100% gusto. The reality is I think people see my videos and they go, oh man, he's so upset about this, or no, I don't care. I go to the bathroom, I take a poop, I go on with my day. It doesn't matter to me, dude. I go outside, I take street photos, I do whatever I want. My brain is like a hummingbird. Boop, 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 boop. But when it comes down to it, the more I thought about this particular topic, the more I could not stop thinking about the future of cinema for us, and how I could not stop thinking about one of my favorite directors, Mr. David Fincher, who now no longer may not want to use a Nikon camera on his movies. Because again, we don't know what Nikon will do. They could devour the entire system of DSM-C3s as we know it and go, nah, they're all gonna be like this now. They're all gonna do this, they're all gonna look like this, they're all gonna say Nikon on them. They don't even have to let them continue to say red on them. That's literally what it means. Again, look what Elon did with Twitter, okay? Hang in there. Don't get your panties in the wad just because I like to start a few brush fires, okay? In the long run, keep shooting, keep doing your thing. Hashtag, sorry Jared, I am a huge fan of them. I'm obviously a fan of red, but I'm not like, in the squad, obviously, because I've always, I don't know, I look around, I'm all alone. I'm always all alone, and that's by choice. It's because I think you know why I'm all alone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.